Hi, I'm Rachel, and welcome to my 2019 National Book Fest vlog. Just want to do a quick intro here to talk about the National Book Fest, which is put on annually by the Library of Congress. It's a rather huge literary convention taking place in our downtown convention center with hundreds of authors across various genres, lots of events for the kids. The library also puts on events about, doing things in the library like research. I'll link to more info down below. I should also say I'm including some clips of panels coming up soon, but you should be able to find full presentations on the Library of Congress YouTube page. Some of them from the main stage are already online, including like talks by RBG, for example. So I'll link to that YouTube channel down below as well. Here's this week's bag with the new library logo. Here's our brochure with this year's poster theme. Not my favorite. I like what they were going for, like, all the ideas you can find in a book that's really creative, but usually they feature, people, and it just seems more kid-friendly and cute, but, whatever. This was nice. It turns out my fears about corrupted footage a la last year were unfounded, so huzzah, everything should look and sound okay, I hope. I have about 6 minutes of footage just around the festival, including clips from panels I went to, including BookTube Prize panels, as it were, because we had some nominees from the BookTube Prize who were speaking. I really wish I could have gone to see Rebecca Makkai in the morning, but alas, I was getting a book signed for my niece. I was able to see Oro Kwan, who wrote The Incendiaries, Aminata Forna, who wrote Happiness, and also Madeline Miller, who talking about Circe and Homer. Ironically, Forna was a moderator and didn't talk much about her own book, even though, for us, she's the only one of those three, or Makkai too, who's still in the running for the BookTube Prize. I went to some other panels as well and enjoyed them, but I really like this whole BookTube Prize idea. I'll try to keep that in mind to see if I can go to as many BookTube Prize panels next year as I can. Maybe it'll even take me into the nonfiction section. And finally, I already did my haul, or my, monthly book haul, which included the 3 books that I purchased and got signed there, so I'll link that down below. And that about covers this segment, and now, action.
Terrorist groups and cults and extremist groups. High school and college are really popular places to recruit. And I think it is because it's such a liminal space, because people are still figuring out who they are, people are in flux. And in the US in particular, people move away from home to go to college. And so in college, you're not only still figuring out who you are, but you might not know anyone there. You're making a whole new set of friends. You're maybe interested in becoming a different kind of person or trying. And so I think that was why college was such a fertile ground for this book for me.
And you'll accept friendships in ways that you might not have accepted friendships before, because you don't quite know who you are and where you are.
Exactly.
was the way that she helped me to get past my deficiencies as an elementary school student, and to start, actually learning. And that was that she appealed to my love of creativity. And part of what I did when I was sitting there trying to make letters on the page and trying to do basic schoolwork, and failing to do basic schoolwork, I was daydreaming. I was a kid who daydreamed all the time. I just wandered around the schoolyard on my own, like with my imaginary friends and my imaginary adventures, and Yeah, my imaginary spaceships, and you know, and that was how I got through it. And she basically helped me to channel that into something that would let me do the schoolwork. So, for example, when I was still trying to learn how to write letters on the page, she really worked it the classic way, or she actually had her own way of working it, which was that instead of making me write the letter A 100 times, she would have me write it perfectly once.
Which includes in England, of course, some really well-known places like Unported and Windsor Castle. And in this case, in the case of the Highlands, this is it's a small harbour on the English south coast that I knew very well anyway. I lived there for about 4 years when I was in my 20s. So there was a very familiar background for me there. But the research is always, people often say to me, how do you do it? Is there like a trick? Is there a sort of a hack to research? And for me, it's just mostly reading. It's just tons and tons and tons of reading. And occasionally, I'll speak to historians of a particular aspect of the period. And sometimes then they'll say, like, what's the controversies? What's the thing that we are quarrelling about? We as historians are quarrelling about now. And that's always very interesting because it's usually the thing that we can't agree now, which is the most interesting part of the story then. But research is partly physics, but more than anything else it's reading.
When I was 13 and I was reading the Odyssey in 8th grade for English class. And it got to the Circe section. I was really excited about it because I had heard that there was this witch who turned men into pigs, which is a very unusual feature for female characters in the ancient world. And so I was excited, here's this character that isn't going to be flat. She isn't going to be just, the character who dies to motivate the hero. She's going to have her own thing. But then when you actually read the scene in Homer, she is incredibly flattened. The first thing that happens is, yes, she turns Odysseus' men into pigs, but then Odysseus shows up and pulls a very phallic sword on her and forces her to her knees, and she has to sort of submit and be tamed. And at that moment, the 13-year-old in me wanted to hurl the book across the room. I didn't because I was obsessed with books and I would never have done that to my book, but that's how I felt. And I think Circe really has just hung around in my brain since that moment, sort of wanting to say, well, how would this look from Circe's perspective? And I think the Odyssey actually really invites that because the Circe episode is narrated by Odysseus himself. It's him telling the story to some other people. And so when you start to look at the episode from that perspective, you realize, okay, this is Odysseus spinning this, right? I came to this island, and there was this beautiful nymph there, and she was really scary, but then I tamed her, and then she threw herself at me, and she was super hot. And that's sort of how he basically describes her. And so you realize that all of that stuff that he's saying, every time he talks about how beautiful she is or how powerful she is, really what he's meaning to do is reflect on himself and make himself look better. And so I wanted to sort of extract that, strip away Odysseus' spin and consider how this episode might look from